Evening, everybody. Welcome to the Chris Salcedo Show here on Newsmax TV. I would like to start off by thanking all of you for your patience. Because of a power disaster that was 100% avoidable, we were prevented from coming to you for the past 3 nights. We will unveil more on that in the days and weeks ahead. Next, I'd like to extend my deep gratitude to Carl Higbee, John Bachman, Tom Basili for their efforts to keep all of you informed during my forced absence. A lot has happened in the past few days. The push for a third party where disaffected conservatives and Democrats who are not on board with the foreigners first collectivist policies of the Socialist Democrat Party, that push for a third party where those folks can call home, ironically, it was the leadership of the GOP, Mitch McConnell and others, who signaled they want nothing to do with you smelly lovers of the Constitution and Trumpism. But I don't want to focus on those who have proven to be ineffective at battling the anti-American left. I want to focus on someone who has been consistent, someone who has been an unfailing beacon in dark times when liberals threaten the very existence of this republic. Thank you, Rush Limbaugh. That's the focus of tonight's preamble. One of the indignities surrounding the unnecessary infrastructure failures in the state of Texas that was, provided the inability of this host to pay tribute to a cultural icon, a man who meant so much to millions and to each one of us as individuals all at the same time. You know, that takes talent on loan from God. I never met Rush Limbaugh personally, but he was formative in the creation of this show. I did get to speak with him as a fan once in my youth. I got through on his radio show. It was before I was in news and before the Salcedo Show was even a glimmer in my eye. He and I were debating energy, ironically enough. He didn't see the need to turn away from a fossil fuel industry that had, up until that point, served this country well. I, on the other hand, didn't mind competing technologies in an effort to provide the consumer with choice. I posited that developing technologies could provide much needed competition to the fossil fuel industry. By the way, I still feel the same way today that I did back then. I still believe that competition breeds excellence and drives down costs. But because of my conversation with Rush, I was forced to consider some other aspects. Competition is great, just as long as taxpayer dollars were not used to give alternative energy companies a leg up, and so long as fossil fuel companies didn't use their monopoly, to kill the competition. So after my brush with greatness of Rush Limbaugh, I remember getting off the line, not swaying Rush at all from his stance, no matter how I tried to use my conservative point of view to reason him away from his positions. And I learned a valuable lesson that day. Stick to your core beliefs. It's a lesson that has never left me, and it's been a guiding principle in the formation of this show, and I owe it all to Rush Limbaugh. Sticking to one's core beliefs doesn't mean that you don't change your mind when new facts become available. It means that there are basic fundamental principles that should never be compromised. That was Rush, a man of principle, America's guiding light in times of tumult, confusion, chaos, and yes, even the good times. He brought his conservative values into everything he touched, on and off the air. What a contrast he was to the leaders of the party he tried to save, the Republican Party. Can anyone look at Mitch McConnell, Pat Toomey, Ben Sasse, Mitt Romney, Lisa Murkowski, or Bill Cassidy and say they have been a rock, or will be a rock, upon which we can rebuild our republic after the Democrat socialists try to finish the job that President Barack Hussein Obama started? Rush Limbaugh was loved by millions and will be remembered in ways that those squishy Republicans will never know. Because no matter his success, no matter how much fire he took, no matter how much withering criticism he took from the cancerous left, he never wavered. Now, I've been struggling to find meaning in the horrendous losses this country has endured over the last year. The intentional causing of a pandemic from our enemy, China. An election where 4 states violated their election laws. The weeks of pro-China executive orders coming from a foreigners first White House under Joe Biden. A massive and deadly failure of infrastructure in Texas. And now the loss of Rush Limbaugh. The announcement of Rush's death happened on Ash Wednesday. And as cliche as it sounds, I find myself asking, what would Rush do? I remembered his deep love of God and of Jesus Christ. And after I remembered that, well, the answer came to me. The good Lord gave us 33 years of Rush Limbaugh's words, wit, and wisdom. Now it's our turn. In this holy season of Lent, let's commit ourselves to using the gifts God gave us to follow Rush's example, to push back on what we know is wrong. We can't rely on any political party, that's for sure. We can't rely on corrupt moneyed interests. But what we do have is what we've always had. Really, at bottom, we have our faith. We have a set of core values, and we have a country to save. So, if we want to say thank you to a man who many of us regard as family, Rush Limbaugh, we could begin there. We all need to be that guiding voice to our families, guiding voice to our neighbors, guiding voice in our communities. I can think of no greater tribute to El Rushbo than that.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.